Welcome to episode 49 of the Luke Macias Show. This is the last show of 2019. I wanted to do something a little different. I know normally we give you kind of a news update on the goings on, and truthfully, I think last week a lot of politics took a little bit of a break, and there's some stuff going on nationally and even on a state basis. But one of the things that I just rolled out a week ago was a PDF. If you go to lukemacias.com/10, you can download a PDF, and it's 10 ways that you can join the conservative movement. And this is really focused on Texans. There's a lot of it that could be applied to you wherever you are, but it's really more focused on Texans. And so I want to actually go through those 10 things. I want to start. We are, coming into 2020, and 2020 is an election year. And not all these things are election specific, but a lot of them are just how to start to make a bigger impact. So we're going to go through all 10 of these today, and hopefully this can work as a little bit of a roadmap for you if you're somebody who's interested in the political process but hasn't been super engaged. This could be the next level up. If you're somebody who's engaged, actively engaged, maybe you could look at a couple of these things that you haven't done. I know plenty of very strong, committed activists who haven't done each and every one of these items. So there might be some new things. We're going to go through all 10 of those today. First, I want to start by just reminding y'all, because this is the last week, but my mug here, if you're watching, says fake news stops here. And it is The Texan. The Texan is an organization that we've had on. It's a media organization here in Texas that's putting out real news. Who knew it? But there are people in Texas that actually want real news. And so if you do, then go to thetexan.news and read. And you will read information that's relevant to you, that is written without the liberal bias that is so prevalent in almost every single media institution that exists, but not the Texan. So if you go there and subscribe to them for $9 a month before the end of the year, you're going to get this mug. And this is a pretty cool mug that you can then drink from. So, people come over, you're drinking, and they're going, oh my gosh, what is that? And you go, did you know about the Texan? That's how this is supposed to go. So come get the mug, go to thetexan.news and make that happen. If you are listening to this, which most of our listeners, listen on different audio devices, they're not actually watching the video, but I'll describe it to you. It's a white mug, and it has fake news stops here in big, bold letters. And then you go thetexan.news. So go there, check it out, see it for yourself, and see what you want to do. So let's talk about 10 ways that you can get active and join the conservative movement. So the first one is, drum roll, stay informed with the Luke Macias Show. And I feel bad. I kind of feel guilty. I mean, I'm telling you, follow this show every week, but here's the deal. Subscribe to this show. If you're listening to it and you haven't subscribed, do it. Okay. And you can go to lukemacias.com. You can give us your email. All we're going to do is email you once a week with little tidbits of the Luke Macias Show, and you'll get that in your email inbox and be able to click whichever subscription platform you listen on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that different stuff. So stay informed. Guys, we are going to take 2020 and we're going to be tackling, we're going to be talking to candidates, we're going to be talking to thought leaders, we're going to be talking to policy makers, we're going to be talking to local officials and state officials, we're going to talk to think tank specialists, we're going to talk to people who are more actively involved in the political process on different single issues that you might care about. So I think we've got a whole lot of great conversations coming your way. And if you stay engaged, I think you will be one of the most well-informed Texans. So there you go. Number one is stay informed with the Luke Macias Show. Number two, and I already just kind of told you about this, but it's just read real news, right? And I recommend going to the Texan, subscribing. I'm a paid subscriber. If you haven't done that, you should. And the truth is that we're encouraging Texans to do this because we really do believe that I have a belief, and I'm going to go through this, and you're going to realize very quickly, I'm basically just trying to get you plugged into all of these different entities that exist that I think will educate and inform and empower you to make the right decisions. I think Texans out there broadly have the right goals and values in mind and principles, and we've got to figure out how to get you activated more. So read real news. Don't just go sign up at the Texan to pay them $9 a month for the sake of saying you're involved in a real news organization, but actually read the news, actually share the news, be informed, because you'll then find yourself in a position to empower others in your community. So read real news by going to thetexan.news, subscribing there, so that you can show that, yes, while the Dallas Morning News and the Houston Chronicle and all these other liberal left-wing entities are lurching further and further left, Texans are actually responding and putting their money where their mouth is and going to the Texan and signing up just like we have. Okay, get activated. This is number 3. And so I list a couple different organizations: Empower Texans, Texas Right to Life, Young Conservatives of Texas, Texas Homeschool Coalition, Texans for Vaccine Choice. These are the top conservative grassroots organizations in Texas. Join all of them or join one of them, but engage on the issues that matter to you. So my point here is this: if you're somebody who really cares about fiscal responsibility and you care about government transparency and all these other issues, holding your local elected officials and your state elected officials accountable, join Empower Texans. Go to their website, donate to them, sign up for their email alerts, like their Facebook page. If you're on Twitter, follow them on Twitter so that you can get the information you need, because they're putting out great information on a regular basis. If you're somebody who cares about the life issue, which for me is my top issue, it's the number one issue, go to Texas Right to Life, sign up. Young Conservatives of Texas. If you are a college student, a high school student who's trying to get more engaged on your college campus and on other ways, join YCT. And if you're somebody who believes in parental rights or, medical rights, then go to the Texas Homeschool Coalition. Look at Texans for Vaccine Choice. Informed consent and parental rights are premier. So these are different organizations. Some of you won't care about half of these groups, and some of you might even disagree with some of these groups, but I can guarantee you that they are the top conservative groups in Texas, and they each have their own way of contributing and helping. So you should be engaged in as many of them or just one of them, but pick one and buy in and get engaged. If you're somebody, this is number 4. So number 4 is, if you're active on Twitter, here are some people to follow. Now, I specifically didn't put elected officials. We've had elected officials on this program, and you have heard from them. You should be following all of the top conservative elected officials. There's one on here because when it comes to federal issues, I just think there's so much muck and mire out there that I recommend people following Chip Roy, my congressman, at Rep Chip Roy on Twitter. But truthfully, if you're on Twitter, that's where you're getting quite a bit of information. If you're not on Twitter, then don't worry about number 4. Okay, don't get a Twitter just to follow these people, because trust me, you're either going to start consuming your information there or you're not. That's just how it works. But if you are, we list a couple people to follow: Connie Burton, Michael Sullivan, Jonathan Stickland, Matt Rinaldi, Congressman Roy. So you can, if you go to lukemacias.com/10, you can click on each of those links, go there and just click follow. So there's 5 people there for you to follow, and then actually continue to share that information as well. So the other one was stay updated on election integrity. And this is a real important issue, I think, for a lot of people. This is a little bit separate from the large conservative groups. And I made it separate just because I think it's an issue that's kind of rising in its importance as opposed to just one of the key issues. But Direct Action Texas is an organization that's a leading voice in election integrity. And we have a link, directactiontx.com. Again, if you have the PDF that you download at lukemacias.com/10, you can just click the link, give them your email, and they're going to keep you involved and educated on all the information going on regarding election integrity, both during the legislative session when it comes to where are these bills, where are they in the process, but also outside of the election season. Right now, they're dealing with these huge election problems in Midland that are going on, and Direct Action Texas is the tip of the spear when it comes to these issues. So if you care about knowing where is election fraud happening and how is it being handled and who's keeping an eye on that stuff, that's Direct Action Texas. So go there, stay engaged, and if that's an issue you really care about, then you should consider supporting that organization, sharing their information, and using it to stay informed. Learn who your elected officials are. So this is 6. Number 6 is learn who your elected officials are and vote in every election. So this is something you need to commit to. But here's the truth. If you don't know who your state rep is, if you don't know who your state senator is, heck, if you don't know who your county commissioner or county judge are, you need to know. If you don't know who your mayor is, you need to know. So go through the exercise, and there's you can go to votetexas.gov, put in your information, but just know who's your state board of education member, who are your different people. Spend a little bit of time doing some research. If you just took an afternoon to go, I want to remind myself who all my local elected officials are and state elected officials are and who they are, you would be probably the most informed citizen in your entire neighborhood at that moment in time. Okay, so take some time to learn who your elected officials are. And you should also commit to vote in every election. So you need to vote in the May elections that will come up. You need to vote in the March Republican primaries, in the May runoffs, then in the May local elections, May runoffs. You need to vote, of course, in November. And then, of course, going into 2021, you're going to have another May election. You're going to have a November election, which will have constitutional ballots on it. So if you will commit to doing that, you will now be in the top 1% of voters in Texas, because if you take people who vote in every single one of these elections, it's 1% of the electorate. So that is the 6th thing that you could do this year to commit to doing. Okay, number 7 is attend a school board meeting or a city council meeting in the next 2 months. The policies that most directly affect you, your family, your community are being passed on the local level. We have this huge issue. In fact, one of the conversations we're going to be having sometime this year is regarding all this Austin crazy sex education that they're passing. Absolutely absurd stuff. And I'm going to bring more information to you so that you can be more informed and spread that information to other people you know. But these are huge issues. And one of the things that all the conservative activists in Austin have figured out is once they started showing up to the school board meetings is that a lot of people don't show up to these things. And so I want you to commit to showing up to a school board meeting, to showing up to a city council meeting. When I was 17 years old, this shows you how much of a geek I am, but when I was 17 years old, I went to my local city council meeting, Bulverde City Hall. And the only people that regularly attended those meetings were 2 people. One was this lady, super nice lady who ran like a little local newspaper kind of newsletter deal in Bulverde. Bulverde is a small city north of San Antonio. And then it was me. And I just showed up every other Tuesday for like 6 weeks, and all of a sudden people are like, who's this kid? And but I was interested, and I learned so much. In fact, at one point I was like, I should run for city council. I just need like 80 votes. But the point is that if you want to know what's going on, show up. You don't have to show up every single time, but you need to go attend a school board. If you've never been to a school board meeting, go attend a school board meeting. If you've never attended your city council, go attend one. Okay, see what type of business is happening there. And then you'll learn, okay, this is how I could engage. It's already been, these meetings have already happened, but for next year in 2020, later in the year, there will be a time where you can go and know what tax rate they are setting, right? And so you should be attending every single meeting in which they set the tax rate. And you should get up and say, if you vote to increase my property taxes, you are telling this entire community that our property taxes are not high enough. And that message needs to be sent to the local officials at the local level. Number 8 is knock 100 doors and make 200 phone calls between now and the 2020 elections. This is so easy. I thought about making it higher, but I know that so few people ever do this that I really should lower the barrier to entry. But you should knock on 100 doors. You can do it in the primary. There are conservative candidates across the state. You can go, hey, I'm going to knock 100 doors, which is honestly about an 8 or 9 hour day. This is not hard at some point in 2020 to do this. And then make 200 phone calls. That's a day. That's one full day of doing nothing but making phone calls saying, please vote for this guy, please vote for this guy, please vote for this guy. But you can do this, okay? And if you want to go to any of these organizations like Texas Right to Life and Empower Texans, you call any of these entities up that you care about and say, hey, who is a very important candidate that I should consider going to knock some doors for? Okay, I know activists across the state that will drive 2 or 3 hours to knock for 4 or 5 hours and drive 2 hours back. And they'll do it again. And if you do that twice, that's 100 door knocks easy. So get out and do something. Show up. A lot of these organizations are very good about once you're engaged, sending you out and empowering you to help other candidates. So that is number 8. Number 9 is make a $25 donation to a conservative candidate, office holder, or conservative group. Now, this, again, is such a low amount, right? So $25 is not very hard. And the reason I'm doing this is that some people who listen, in fact, I know some listeners who listen to this program that have a lot more than $25. Okay, they could make a ton larger donation, a significantly larger donation than $25. But for many of you out there, that's a stretch. I'd like you to donate an amount that makes you uncomfortable. Okay, that's what I would like you to donate. So when I donate to a candidate that I really support, I really have to ask myself that question: what is going to make me uncomfortable? And at times, what's going to make me uncomfortable is $100. And there are times that what's going to make me uncomfortable is $500. Okay, but there's an amount that is going to make you uncomfortable, like, ugh, man, I probably shouldn't go out to eat this week, okay? And that's the amount I want you to donate. I'm not telling you who to donate to, and I didn't want to do that as part of this program. I just want to say, make a donation. If there's a conservative office holder out there, make it, okay? If there's a congressman you're really proud of, donate, but make it happen. The last one is number 10. We say purchase and read one of the following books. And we give you a couple of books: Confrontational Politics, The Law by Frederick Bastiat, The 5,000-Year Leap. These are phenomenal reads that will just take you to the next level in your understanding of some of the core issues that face us, some core principles that you should operate on. So that's what we do. Those are 10 things that you can do. If you did all 10 of these things, I really do think that you're going to be amongst the top elite, most involved 0.01% of activists in the state of Texas. And anyways, I'm so grateful that many of you have stayed connected to us through all of 2019. It's kind of a weird thought, but we started this program in January of 2019, and this is our 50th episode. So 2 weeks from now, we will hit our exact 1 year anniversary. And I can't say enough to how grateful I am for so many of you who text me after you listen to the show, or submit content through our website, Facebook page, send us messages, commenting on different episodes and giving us your thoughts and feedback. It's absolutely encouraging. And it's also been an incredibly rewarding to bring this information to you on a weekly basis. So I am very grateful. If you want the actual PDF checklist, which you could print off and just check off as you do these things, okay, then you can just go to lukemacias.com/10. And if you do that, you'll be able to download the PDF and print it off and make them all happen. At the very end, we do say that if you want to continue to support our show, you can go to lukemacias.com and donate there as well, so that we can get this content to more Texans, so that they can donate these PDFs, that they can listen to the show, that they can stay engaged and get sent into the fight in some form or fashion. Thank you so much to all of you who have made 2019 the year that it is, and I think we are heading into a very eventful 2020. I look forward to walking through this year with you as listeners, and may God bless the last couple days here in the year before we head into 2020. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video through in its entirety. If you're somebody who's been following on with the conversations and the commentary that we've been producing here, we're going to ask you to do a couple quick things. Go to lukemacias.com. You can give us your email and sign up. We will email you new content, commentary, conversations as we produce it. Also, you can, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can like our page, follow our page, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will just continue to ensure that when we produce content, it gets to you more easily. Thank you so much for continuing to support the conversations we're producing. God bless you. God bless Texas.